Are you thinking about moving abroad? Curious what it really costs to live in Italy? From rent to utilities to phone bills and food, I'm breaking down my exact monthly expenses. If you've ever dreamed about making the move, you'll want to stay tuned. Hello, my name is Jonna. I'm a dual US Italian citizen who moved from Seattle to Italy solo in my late 40s. I talk about midlife transformation, aging stylishly, and life abroad. Allora, andiamo! Before I moved, I did tons of research but had a hard time finding information about someone in my situation. I found lots of information about students, couples, and retirees. So I wanted to pass along some of the knowledge I've learned along the way and hopefully answer some of your questions about how much it really costs to live in Italy. Stay tuned until the end of the video where I reveal some of my biggest surprises about costs of living in Italy. Spoiler, it's more expensive than I thought. First, let's talk about rent. This will vary greatly depending on where you live in Italy, if you're in the north or the south, city or country. I personally live in a small town about 1.5 hours west of Florence in the historic center. I live in a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment that's about 900 square feet. It's definitely too big for me, so I'll be looking for a 1-bedroom apartment in the future. I pay 970 euros a month for rent and 100 euros in condo fees, which include building maintenance, internet, and garbage. Next up, groceries. Last month, I spent 414 euros on groceries, and that's a combination of the grocery store and the various markets in town. I'm an omnivore, so it's a little bit of everything. I cook most of my meals at home, so most of the items I'm buying are whole foods. Next up, restaurants and going out. I spent 225 euros on restaurants and going out last month. Generally speaking, restaurants and going out is a lot less expensive than I found it to be in Seattle. In fact, I pretty much stopped going out to restaurants in Seattle because it was so expensive there. So I found that I could go out or meet a friend for a glass of wine, and I wasn't really thinking about, oh, can I afford this? Because you're really able to get some good, wholesome meals for quite a low price point, at least a lot lower than I was used to. Let's talk about phones. This is a category that I was really pleased to see that there is quite a price difference between the US and Italy. For my phone plan, I pay 9 euros a month, plus there was a 20 euro setup fee, which is a huge savings from my T-Mobile plan that I had in the US. Last but not least, utilities. Now, I knew coming into this that the utilities in Europe were quite high compared to the US, but I was really surprised when I got my first bill at actually how high the cost was. So my utilities are split between gas and electric, and heating in the apartment is gas, and you can probably see this radiator behind me. So for gas for the month of November was 191 euros. So I was really surprised when I saw the cost of this, especially because it really hadn't even gotten that cold yet. I want to say it was mostly in the 50s during the day. So I did have my heating on, and I would turn it off at night. So that's just having the heating on while I'm here and having it off at night. Next is electricity, and that was also more than I was used to paying in the US, and that was 126 euros for the month of November. Again, I will say that knowing that utilities were high, I've been very conscientious about my energy consumption. This apartment is not completely modernized, so it has single pane windows, and there is just a lot of like drafty doors, and there's a fireplace and all that kind of stuff that adds to it just not being an efficient apartment. So I have had to keep the heat up a lot, but I have been very conscious about my electricity. So if anyone has any tips for how to keep these energy costs down, I would love to hear it in the comments. So that all adds up to a grand total of 2,055 euros. I hope this helped to answer some of your questions about the real cost of living in Italy. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And if you like this video, check out this one. I think you'll enjoy it. I dive a lot deeper into what you actually get for 970 euros a month on my apartment tour. All right, see you in the next video. Ciao, alla prossima.